how can we not be giving this guy his flowers? Like, everyone's talking more about how Gretzky now is traveling with the team because he wants to be there to basically say, congratulations, you did it. That's what we're doing. We're following Gretzky instead of the guy doing it. It's crazy. You guys. The other day, last week, he gave up a goal. They've been putting him on the ice a lot for, like, obviously the empty netters. And a lot of people are like, well, it's a little unfair that he's on the ice and he's getting like 7 or 8 empty net goals. Well, here's the point. How about his team's winning, so he happens to have the opportunity to shoot the empty net, so go ahead and do it. He gave up an empty net opportunity to a guy on his team who had 2 goals to get the hat trick. He's doing everything else on top of scoring the goals, Dimitri. The team's winning. I just look at it more and more. If this was Sidney Crosby, we would be all over this.
That argument about the whole, well, you know, he's scoring this. Are you guys for real?
Yeah.
Like, whoever is saying that, just hit yourselves against the wall repeatedly. Like, on repeat. Like, find a wall, run into it, face first.
Yeah.
Go back, and keep going.
Can you do it again?
Like, come on. First of all, A, you should know better. Mm-hmm. B, if you're that kind of hater, then I would argue to you, well, Wayne Gretzky basically sometimes would not even raise the puck off the ice, and it would go in.
Yeah.
Because the goalie sucked.
And how about this? Here's another little thing that I want to give him some highlights on. Here's a guy. Is he better than Sidney Crosby? No. I'll say it straight up. Sidney Crosby is a better and will be a better hockey player in their final games and all that stuff, okay? But that's besides the point right now. Here's a guy that's still scoring goals the same way he was scoring them 20 years ago. Over in the hash mark, one-timer, and everyone knows it's coming. Everybody. If you listen to other sports podcasts, and hockey ones especially, they talk about it all the time. It's actually kind of funny. They're like, everyone knows it's coming, and they still can't stop it. That alone should give you like so many more points than that. And on the last point I was going to make is, yes, he's not like your around the guy. You know, like when I said Sidney's a better player, Sidney is a better player. You know, and I think dare I say, Ovi might even tell you he's a better. But Ovi is the best at what he does, which is just scoring goals. No, you know, he'll go out and body check. He's a vicious body checker. He'll go out and do what he has to do. But at the end of the day, he's paid to do one thing, to score goals, and he's doing it. And it's like he's being reprimanded because he's like 85% goal scorer, 15% everything else. Where Sidney Crosby's like 75% or 65% goal scorer, 30% playmaker, and then everything else and whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, I just don't get why we, again, I think we answered the question, but still.
Yeah, he's doing it a different way.
Yeah.
It'll go down that Sidney Crosby has 3 Stanley Cups, and it'll go down that Ovechkin has 1 right now, but let's say he ends with 2. Let's just call it. But Crosby has 3 Stanley Cups, but Ovechkin will have 1 Stanley Cup and probably the greatest accolade in hockey of a record you could have.
See, you know, that's so funny you say that. Yeah.
When you look at these 2 players, and the point I'm making is, I will throw it. Are these 2 the actual 2 greatest players that ever played at one time? Have they surpassed, in a weird way, Lemieux, Gretzky? And
well, they have, because Lemieux unfortunately couldn't go all the way. Yeah.
They came into the league basically the same year, again, through a lockout year, but basically they start in the same year.
Yep.
In their first year, they each get 100 points. Right. Sidney Crosby is about to break an all-time record, maybe, if he continues, on having a 20 consecutive season of over a point, or of a point per game average season.
Right.
20 times in a row.
Which is amazing. But
which I believe is Gretzky's at 19.
Okay.
And then you have Ovechkin about to beat Gretzky's record.
Right.
And they got the cups, and they got the rivalry. I mean, guys, when this is all said and done, this is a crazy 20-year period of hockey.
100%.
That we got before our very eyes.
And with that being said, like, let's say Crosby gets that record. People are going to be like when they'd have to go through the record book to see that one. They're like, oh, look at that.
But
Ovechkin's does stand out.
Yeah, man.
It stands out. Like, I'm not saying it's a Stanley Cup, but for an individual, it is. Do you see what I mean? The Stanley Cup's for the team. This record is an individual Stanley Cup.
And it'll always go down. And this is what I love about the whole story and where I'm going with Crosby, Ovechkin.
Sure.
At the end of the day, there's a period of time where you said, who's better? See, sports is all about what-if debates. That's what keeps us as fans, right?
That's true.
There was a point in time where it was absolutely no question. This guy's got 3 Stanley Cups. This guy doesn't have any, or maybe had one. I can't remember. But regardless, the point being, everyone's like, Crosby's a winner. Ovechkin, and when Crosby was winning the cups, he had to go through Ovechkin.
That's true. Yeah.
Now when the chips fall, they're back at the great debate.
It's true.
They're going to be like, okay, he had 1 cup, but he has the goal record.
Exactly.
Okay, he has 3 cups, but you know.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like like I said it. Like, I will stay.
Like we're Ovechkin.
I'd rather start a franchise with Sidney Crosby over Ovechkin, and the big but is not by a lot.
Yeah.
Not by a lot.
But here's what's crazy: it's like Ovechkin missed time due to COVID.
Right.
Crosby missed time due to COVID and injury.
You could throw that in, sure.
So it's like it just the story, how it's going to end, still leaves us with everything that we were doing along the way.
Is this a little bit of a LeBron and Jordan kind of scenario where Ovechkin, unfortunately, is a little bit more LeBron-ish, and Sidney's a little bit obviously more Jordan. But in this particular debate, I'm like, you know what? There's a couple of more points I'm giving to Ovi. Like this scale is like 1 or 2 points off, where in the LeBron one it's like,
yeah, it's like a Jordan Johnson probably.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe closer to that.
I would say that their rivalry is more of a Magic and Bird, like a something like that, or Magic, or
from a rivalry standpoint.
I would say something like that.
No question, but maybe you're right. It would be wow. Huh.
It's interesting. I just, as I was watching it, like SportsCenter literally gives it like 2 or 3 minutes here in Calgary, like, or across Canada actually, like 2 or 3 minutes. Oh, he's closer. But I'm like, if this was Sidney Crosby, that's all I kept thinking about yesterday. I'm like, if this was Sidney Crosby, you guys would have its own, like, TSN has like 4 stations. One of them would be dedicated to the Sidney Crosby, getting the goal record channel, like 100%.
Agreed.
Done.
You know what'd be crazy for ratings? He gets the what if?
Yeah, what if?
What if Ovechkin gets 895 in Washington,
right?
And the person to walk out to congratulate him is none other than one Donald J. Trump.
With Putin?
So you have the American president with all the Russian business going on over there in the nation's capital, where the captain of the nation's capital is a Russian.
What?
You guys, it's
you know what? That's actually a very good. And you know what? I'll bet you Trump. I'm not joking now. I am dead serious. So I said it a minute ago.
That's good TV.
Russia and USA and Ukraine, they're all talking. It sounds like there's a ceasefire. What if one of the conditions was, hey, I'm Vladdy. Vladdy's talking to Trump and he says, hey, I want you to do me a favor. You're Trump. I'm Vlad.
Okay.
Mr. Trump, I want you, Donald. Mr. Trump. Yeah. Donald, you're to do me one favor. You go. When Ovechkin scores the goal past the Gretzky, you go. You acknowledge on my behalf too. And I promise no more fighting.
I talked to Putin. I did. He was on the phone. And I said, Vladimir, because I call him Vladimir, Vladdy for short. I said, Vladdy, he's American now. He has a Russian name, but he's a Washington capital. And I said, I will go and I will congratulate him as an American, because we need Americans in this country to play the American game. It's the 51st game. It's hockey is the 51st game. We gave it to them. They started it. We perfected it. And I told him over the phone.
Buddy, this is gold. This is gold material.
That's how it
I'm just saying this right now. Watch, this will happen. This will happen.
Buddy, it's great TV. We're saved by the bell by the Sports Show, playing every week. Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, Sports Show TV, at Sports Show Podcast. Amy, do it. At Sports Show Podcast. Amy can do anything.
She's the best.